It's your girl, Lauren Lifestyle with Stay Lit with Lifestyle. And I am just really going to do a very informal episode of just me and just sharing. Again, my show is really about just embracing who you are authentically. And I know I've had a lot of guests on my show. And so I think it's important that you guys take some time to get to know me as your host. And so this episode is it's not planned at all. I just want to come on here and be authentically me in totality of who I represent, who I am, what have I been through, what is my story. I know you guys have experienced a lot of other people's stories. And so I really just want to get some one-on-one time with your girl, okay? And so by doing that, I'm just really going to use my reflection cards that I use on the show. And I'm just going to answer a few. Again, they're not pre-picked or anything like that. I'm just going to randomly pick them. And I am naturally a transparent person. And so we're just going to go a little bit more deeper into my world. And so I hope you guys enjoy it. And, share in the comments below how y'all feeling, what y'all think. And if y'all want to ask me any questions, I'm happy to answer them as well. So let's get into it. As I said, I hope they're deep because I want to go deep, y'all. I want to go deep. And if they don't go deep, then I'm going to just get to talking. We just going to get into it ourselves. And if I don't like the card, it's just because I feel like it's not deep enough. And again, I want y'all to really get to know me. If you don't know me, I really want y'all to know who is Lifestyle, what has she been through? What is the blueprint that she has existed on for some time? So, what's a personal goal you're working towards? This is a good question. It's not as deep as I would like it, but it will share a little bit insight. So, a personal goal that I'm really working on is balance. And I know that a lot of people want balance. However, balance to me is something of really like not being so busy because I'm noticing since I balance, I want to say balance, since I have my hand in so many different things, my mind and my body eventually catches up. And so there are times where I am drained. And from other people's perspective, they perceive me as being zombie like. Like how I am right now, people know what my day-to-day consistent energy is. I'm very cheerful, happy, playful, laughing, smiling. You hear it in my voice. But when I'm going, eventually my energy is drained and I'm exhausted. And people feel that energy like instantly. Like my energy is so strong. I wear it in my face. My voice is different. My responses are very just dull and short answered. And so I don't like being in that space. But right now, I don't know how to kind of maneuver through it or prevent it in such a way because again I'm learning how to balance. And so again, I'm a guardian. I take care of my niece full time. I've had her since she was 10. So I got her when I was 23. I am 28. I work full time as a social worker in a school as a counselor. I also do individual therapy, so I have the caseload with that. I'm a TV host with Afro Vibes TV, and so that I do that weekly. I also have my own modeling school, and I'm in the development phase of that, right? So rebranding, and not only rebranding in general, but just rebranding in Houston, networking, building those relationships, setting the foundation, building the structure for my business, in addition to managing my team. And that's been a little struggle because I'm so used to doing everything on my own. In addition to, I'm a model myself. So although I'm helping other people build their career, I'm also building and maintaining my own career. And so I do all these different things and I'm good at it, right? When I'm having a good day, I boom, 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 boom. I always say that a normal person, if they were to do what I do, they would go insane because it is a lot. But I manage my time very well. But most importantly, everything I'm doing, I'm passionate about. I love what I do, so it doesn't seem like it's draining. However, even if it is something that you're passionate about, you will still experience burnout. And especially as a therapist, because I'm weighing so many people's problems on me on a day-to-day basis. But even as a model coach, like I hear stories about things they've experienced in the model industry, but also things that they have experienced that have tainted their confidence within themselves. And so I have to maneuver through that in addition to being a caretaker for a child that has experienced a lot and paving the path for her, but also for my own children when I do have children, and just working on my own personal goals. And so right now, again, my personal goal is balance in my structure, time management. That's why I have an assistant, but that's even a transition into trusting someone else to do things because I'm so used to doing things my way. So training her what that looks like and being executed at the level that I desire and meets my expectations. And so balance in my routine and schedule, finding a balance in where I'm spending my time, and most importantly, prioritizing my self-care so that way it can at least reboost my energy and battery in some shape or form. What's something you've worked really hard on recently? I would say my patience. Um, and it's crazy because I'm a very patient person, but in some relationships and dynamics that I am in now, I see that I'm a little bit more irritable and I kind of will shut down. And it's kind of like my version of throwing a fit if things don't go my way because I am really big on my brand as a person, and my brand with my business. Because again, I feel as though in everything that I do, me as a person is my brand and vice versa. And so there are some things that it's hard for me to compromise on when it comes to collaborating and working with people in different teams or different groups, or if I'm on different projects. And so I see that, or even being a caretaker with a teenager, right? Like patience is very important. And also patience within myself. And so most of the time, I'm a very patient person when it comes to working with kids in general. But there are times when I do lose my patience and I see that irritability within myself that I don't like. I will say I'm very good at self awareness and coming back and saying, like, hey, I shouldn't have responded in that way, or, what's the word I'm looking for? Um, Fixing that damage or harm that I have caused as a result of me being impatient. And that's why balance is so important, because most of the times when I become impatient is because I'm tired. I'm tired, I'm irritated, I'm overwhelmed. I feel like I'm doing so much by myself. I wish I had help. And so I've been really kind of working on communicating that, hey, I need to take a step away because I see that I am becoming impatient and irritable, and not kind of prioritizing what could happen as a result of me saying that I need to take a step back and that I can't participate in this right now, or I won't be able to answer your questions, or I may not be able to fulfill the task that you have asked me to do at this time because I need to take some time for me. And so I guess that's what it is. It's just kind of communicating and not shutting down in a way. I don't shut down in a way to where I dismiss people, but again, my energy is changed to where naturally people may not want to engage. They may feel like, hey, let me just give her space because I know she's not Lauren that she is now. But I truly, truly appreciate my friends and that are around me that kind of respect that space, but call me out on it as well. But also don't put me in a space where they judge me, or again have a negative response, but more so acknowledge it and ask, how can I help you? What is it that you need? If you could let go of something right now, no matter how big or small, what would it be? Ooh, this one almost made me cry. I would say, I feel like I have a lot of resentment that is unspoken and that I also haven't processed with my family, more specifically my mom and my brother. And that's a whole episode and maybe two or three episodes within myself. But there's just some things that I've experienced with them that um I just know it that I won't say I carry with me on a day-to-day basis, because again, if you know me, I don't really talk about my family. I don't really you would have people, I was like, do you have a mom or a dad? Do you have family? Because you don't talk about them, because I really don't have a strong relationship with them. But I do know when I do have those interactions, my tolerance for them is very low, compared to like friends that I may have or other relationships that exist in my life. And so, I wish I could get into a place where I didn't have that, but at the same time, I use it as a way to protect me because, again, I feel like it's important to protect your means by any means necessary. And some relationships are unhealthy, just because you also just know how they operate and how they exist in their own life and how it could bleed onto yours. And again, I'm very big on my peace. And so I kind of use that resentment. And again, I don't even know if it's resentment because I don't act ill towards them. There's just no relationship. And I don't disrespect them or anything that of that nature. It's just like, I'm good. I'm just good to where it's non-existent. It's like really outside, out of sight, out of mind. And so I realize I wish I could kind of let go some of the things I've experienced in my childhood, when it comes to me interacting with them in the person. I don't feel like it bleeds into my day-to-day life or relationships or who I am as a person at all. And if a lot of people knew me, if I were to tell my story, they were like, wow, like how you are as a person, it doesn't show at all. But I do that whenever I do get a chance to talk to them, or, I'm just like, I'm good. I'm good. And so we will go into a commercial break and we will again come back and answer a few more questions just so you guys can get a little bit inside of me. I hope as we go through them, they're a little bit more deeper and you can have that understanding. And again, I wish that you guys would drop down in the comments about some questions that you want to know about me, whether you know me personally or not, or just any other questions that you feel like are good questions that bring out other things in people. Because as you all know, I really value authenticity in this show and just you being yourself. But also, I really created this show because a lot of times people talk about their accomplishments and they want to broadcast that, which is great. But I think it's important that we share, how did we get to that point? What challenges did you experience? What downfalls did you have? What were your low points? What were your breaking points? Because that's what truly makes us who we are. And so this is where this space is. Yeah, I'm sure you guys want to hear about everything that I'm a part of and all my accomplishments. And I do want to share them. But I also want y'all to know that the road is not easy. It was definitely difficult. There's been times where I've had suicidal thoughts. There's been times where I've been depressed. There's been times where I did wanted to give up. There's been times where I wasn't confident in myself. There's been times where I feared a lot of things and I didn't take that next step, which was a barrier and kept me back from myself. There were times where, I've had to work three jobs in college to be able to maintain things. Like there's a lot that's behind the story and the glory. But let's get into the story of how we got to where we are. So I hope to see y'all after the commercial break. All right, y'all. So happy to see that you guys are back joining me. All right. What is something you find embarrassing? This is a good question. What is something I find embarrassing? I don't know if I find anything embarrassing. I'm sure I've been embarrassed. When's the time I've been embarrassed? I'm trying to think. Okay, I'm gonna have to table this one because I can't pinpoint exactly when's the time I've been embarrassed. Probably sometime in like my childhood, like elementary school or something like that. The first thing that kind of pops into my mind is I got into a fight with this girl. And as a kid, I don't know why, but we loved to fight. And it was really like play fighting. Like we would just walk up to people or just even our friends. Like you just want to play fight, you just want to play fight. And everything was cool until it got serious. Play fighting is cool until you hit somebody real hard or accidentally or in the wrong place and things really got serious. And so I think one time I was play fighting with this girl and she really beat me up, y'all. And it was like, you know how you be outside with your people and the whole neighborhood outside? Like it was one of them types of events. And I was really embarrassed. So I had to go back and get my lick back. Like, I'm not finna just go down. Like, you got me this time, but we gonna have to have round two. And round two was round two in. So That I would say that's like the first thing that kind of pops into my mind is like getting beat up in front of everybody. Because they're like, oh, you just got beat up. Like, that's so embarrassing. Because it was also embarrassing because before that, I was kind of undefeated. Like, they called me the curb stomper. How they got that name, I don't know. But the girl was on the curb, and I just kind of like, oh, I'm not. The crazy thing, I'm not even that girl anymore. But back then in elementary school, and we were just having fun and doing stuff, I really did do some damage to her, right? And so to get beat up in front of the whole crowd when I had this title in the neighborhood, that was embarrassing. That was embarrassing. But I'm not like that no more, right? I haven't fought in a very, very long time. I don't even know when's the last time I fought. What's something you look up to, and what is who's someone you look up to, and what is it about them you admire? I answered this in another previous episode, so if y'all want the answer to that, y'all gonna have to go to the episodes. um, what's something you want or are also a bit afraid of? Um, I would say marriage. Marriage is something that I want, but I'm also afraid of because it's going to be hard. And I know for me, something that I'm working on as a trauma response is that naturally in romantic relationships, but even friendships, and we're very close, when I get very overwhelmed, and again, feeling overwhelmed can be triggered by a lot of different things. And most of the time, I'm noticing that I respond differently when I'm in a different emotional state. And so I have labeled some of the thoughts that I have that I don't really believe, but they exist in that moment because of the state of mind that I'm in. I label them as tired thoughts because 9 times out of 10, if I'm having these thoughts that are holding me back or discouraging or keeps me in a space of disappointment or fears because I'm tired. But once I've physically and mentally tired, but once I've rested and I'm back to me being me, I don't have those thoughts anymore. Like they're non-existent at all. And so I know for me, in past relationships and things, when things kind of get hard or overwhelmed, where if I feel dismissed or that the things that I say is not valued, or you don't take time to see things from my perspective, I'm quick to be like, you know what, don't even worry about it, sweetheart. We gotta be friends, we ain't gotta be in a relationship. You go do your thing, I'm gonna do my thing. In the moment, based off of what I'm experiencing at that time. And so I don't want to do that with my husband. I don't want to, or even like a long-term relationship, but again, dating to marry and very intentional in this season of my life. That I don't want to be quick to give up and to kind of be, because sometimes I really have this idea that I could do better all by myself. And so don't even worry about it. And in the moment I feel that. But over time, and it's not even a long time, I would say maybe a day or two, I'd be cool, I'll be back to it. And then again, that's when the cycle comes back. Because in the moment, I'm very hard and adamant about like, you know what, this is too much, I can't do it. I don't want to be a friend no more. I don't want to be a girlfriend no more. And you go about your business, and then 2 or 3 days later, I'm fine. And I'm like, okay, let's talk about it. Again, however, before I get to that space of I'm good, I create space to talk about it. But if you shut me down and validate how I feel, you don't create space and be empathetic about my experience, I feel like there's no point. So don't even worry about it. So it's not like I'm just so quick when things get hard and kind of run. No, absolutely not. I create space to listen and to problem solve. But if we can't do it together and it's not done in a safe manner and I feel emotionally safe with you, gotta go. What's something you spend a surprising amount of time thinking about? Nothing. To be clothes maybe, but not even that. Because I'm a very in the moment type of thing. So there's not nothing that I'm just like hyper fixated on. So because y'all, if y'all look at my to-do list and what I do on a database, I don't have time just to be thinking about stuff just to be thinking about it. I'm gonna be Next. Which tends to be a common quality in people you really like? Genuineness, soft, calm, patient people. And ambitious. Like if you got your thing going on, because if you got your own thing going on, then you're gonna respect and understand that I got my own something going on, and that I'm not going to text and talk to you all the time. You won't always have access to me, and that we also have to schedule stuff to meet up because I'm finna come get you at 8 o'clock, baby. My schedule's already booked to a 3 weeks later, ahead of time. So 8 o'clock tomorrow may or may not work, and if it don't work, you can't be mad. And so, but I'm really I like people that are just funny, definitely funny because I love to laugh. That are sweet, genuine, compassionate, just gentle people. I don't like the rough. I don't like people that's just like cussing and just have what's the word I'm talking about? I can't even think. Just cussing all the time. That's just like aggressive and just turned up all the time. Like, chill out, baby, chill out. What are what are you pretty sure you can never get tired of? Okay, we talk about food. We talk about food, y'all. Steak, lobster, crab legs, crawfish. Those are like my go-to things. Those are my go-to things. I'm not even gonna hold you. Those are my go-to things. I could eat those all day long. I always have the taste for steak. And sometimes when I just get steak, I'll be like, do you want to add some lobster? Shrimp, I could go without shrimp. But lobster, I could also go without shrimp. Lobster, I would say steak, especially steak burrito. Steak burrito, steak taco, steak by itself. Crawfish and crab legs. Like crawfish and crab legs, seafood dates are my self-care dates. So when I'm really low on energy, I'll get my beets. I'll go out and get some seafood by myself, tear it up. And 9 times out of 10, it works every time. And clothes. Clothes. Don't ever tell me I have too much clothes, because there's no such thing. What's one thing about yourself you're genuinely proud of? I also answered this, but I'm going to give y'all a different answer. I am genuinely proud of not allowing people that didn't understand my ambitions, my goal, and the way that I move to hold me back, to kind of seek validation from them. Because growing up, I had friends, I had people that often would be like, oh, girl, you do too much. Or like they would try to go out and party. I'd be like, oh, I have this volunteer activity, or I got to get up and be, I was on the board for a lot of stuff as a kid. So just being a part of those different things. And they would be like, oh, you always got something going on, and being like, not allowing that to dictate how I made decisions, or be like, dang, I'm missing out on my friends or anything like that. Like, I would say I'm very proud. I've always had multiple jobs as a kid. Since I could work since I was 16, I've always just been hustle, 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 hustle. And I'm glad that I'm proud that I didn't allow that because people didn't understand me, allow that to weigh heavy or play a role in my life, because it's not about them. So I'm glad that I always stayed rooted and was authentic of who I am, and I knew what my vision was. But even when I didn't know what my vision was, I knew that I was destined for greatness. And that there was always purpose and intentionality in every experience or opportunity that I've ever been given. If you could make a wish come true for someone else, what would it be? I would say for children, because y'all, children and youth are my heart. I wish I could take away all of the pain and trauma that they experience, because it has such an impact on them. Like, my background is in neuroscience, and the more that I study the brain and have studied the brain and understand the neural mechanisms and how experiences and trauma shape the person that we are, it's just like the things that I see kids go through or witness. I'm like, y'all just don't know how much unlearning they're going to have to do, how much this is going to impact their trust, how it's going to change the perception of who they are, the relationships they exist in, and how they view the world. And so I wish I could really just take away all of the anger and the hurt and the pain that our youth have, and just kind of give them a new perception and idea in life. All right, y'all. I'm going to do one more. How do you hope people in your life see you? Again, genuine and authentic. I just wish people would say, like, Lauren was genuine at all times. I never want anyone to feel like I've ever had ill intent towards them. And that I was always authentically myself, that I never cared. I'm not a yes man type of person. I don't want no yes man around me. I just that like I don't really care for them to see me as a hard worker, even though that's like naturally who I am. because I think that I just want people to see me in a positive light, in the sense of understanding that Lauren goes above and beyond for the people she cares about, that she is willing to sacrifice a lot of things for other people, in any capacity, whether it's personal relationships, business relationships, or in the work that I do. And so I feel as though if people see me in that way, and if I were to die tomorrow, that would I would feel fulfilled and satisfied in my life. Not about what I've accomplished, but more so of the character that I exist in on a day-to-day basis every day. So we're going to wrap up this episode. Again, I just wanted to come in here very informal, just answer a few questions so you guys can get to know me a little bit better. If y'all really like this segment, and if there's anything that I say that you guys want me to dig more deep in, drop it down in the comments or hit me in my DM and we could definitely get into it. Also, if you want to be a guest on any of my future episodes, make sure that you guys click the link in my bio or again, DM me and we can definitely set something up. Thank y'all for tuning in to Stay Lit and continue to be authentic.